Good morning, students. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to HGP class. In last class, we had seen second unit relays, electromagnetic relays. In last class, we had seen the definition of relay, how it is going to work when faulties happen or occur in our power system. So in last class, we had seen relay connections. So that means when the faulties occur in a uh, transmission line or in our power system, lines or equipment, whatever it may be. So in our power system, so how the relay is going to work and how the relay is send a signal to circuit breaker, that what we learned or discussed in last class. Okay. So that means we had seen a definition of relay. So just a small again a small introduction to a relay. What we learned in last class. So relay is nothing but it can monitor system conditions. Am I right? Yes. What we discussed in last class. So relay, it is nothing but it monitors system conditions, and it sends signal to circuit breaker when abnormal conditions are happen. Now also one more thing, it monitor real time actual quantities against present values. So it can also monitor real time actual quantities against preset values. So when there is a difference happen between these two values, real values and preset values, then automatically it sends a signal to the circuit breaker. It sends a signal to the circuit breaker. This is what we discussed in last class. Now, and also we had seen some requirements of required qualities of relays, how the relay is going to be character, how the relay character is going to be like. It must have good selectivity, good speed, good sensitivity, and it has more reliability, and it is simplicity. It must have simplicity and also more economical. So these are the basic required qualities of relays. What we are going to select. So I repeat once again. Required qualities of relays must be like selectivity, good selectivity. That means good selectivity in the sense, um, the relay should identify the faulty part correctly. That means the relay must and shouldly identify the faulty part correctly, and also speed as early as possible. It has to operate while detecting the fault, and sensitivity for low faults also it must be operate, and reliability must operate under predetermined condition. So it must be operate in predetermined condition. And coming to the one more quality, simplicity. That means the scheme should be simple for maintenance. It is maintenance should be simple. We have to make it like, and more economical. Already I told you we spent only 5%. If we spend 5% only for in our total cost of system. So 1 minute, please. Roll number 2B4. Who is 2B4? Ramnaran sir.
చెప్పండి.
2B4 ఎవరు స్టూడెంట్ ఉన్నారు సార్? 2B4
డిస్కనెక్ట్ అయినట్టున్నాడు సార్. ఉన్నాడా? అమ్మ
2B4
అన్మ్యూటా?
అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి.
అన్మ్యూట్ చేశాను. ఆప్షన్ ఏమైనా ఉందా? మ్యూటా లేదా ఉన్నట్టుంటదేమో.
ఆ పర్టికులర్ స్టూడెంట్ వరకు ఇవ్వండి.
ఇచ్చాను 2B4 కి ఇచ్చా.
సార్
2B4
సార్
మెసేజ్ పెట్టావు చూసావా? ఏం పెట్టావు మెసేజ్ నువ్వు? 2B4
చూడలేదు సార్.
నువ్వు మెసేజ్ పెట్టావు చూసావా ఇప్పుడు చాట్ బాక్స్ లో?
చూడలేదు సార్.
నువ్వు చాట్ బాక్స్ లో మెసేజ్
పెట్టలేదు సార్. ఏ మెసేజ్ సార్? లేదు సార్.
నువ్వు చాట్ బాక్స్ లో
పెట్టలేదు సార్.
చూసావా? అందరికి విజిబిలిటీ అది నువ్వు పబ్లిక్ గా పెట్టింది.
సార్ నేను పెట్టలేదు సార్. సార్ నేను పెట్టలేదు సార్.
నువ్వు పెట్టలేదా?
నేనేం పెట్టలేదు సార్. నేను పెట్టలేదు సార్.
ఏ నెంబర్, ఏ పర్టికులర్ దీని నుంచి వచ్చింది? లిస్ట్ నెంబర్ నుంచి
సార్ నాది 2B4 సార్. నేను ఏ మెసేజ్ పెట్టలేదు సార్ ఇక్కడ.
ఎవరు పెట్టారు? నువ్వు పెట్టగా?
ఏమో సార్.
ఏమో
సార్ నిజం సార్. నేను ఏ మెసేజ్ పెట్టలేదు సార్ ఇక్కడ. మెసేజ్ ఏదో పెట్టాను అంటున్నారు.
17 సిరీస్ 2B4.
నేను అది స్క్రీన్ షాట్ తీసారు. కౌన్సిలర్ తో మాట్లాడుతున్నాను. మీరు క్లాస్ కంటిన్యూ చేయండి.
ఓకే. సో మిస్బిహేవ్ చేసుకుంటే మీరే ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతారండి.
డిసిప్లినరీ కమిటీ అనేది ఉంది. వేసాడు ఆయన.
మీరే అనవసరంగా ఇబ్బంది పడతారు మిస్బిహేవ్ అయితే.
ఇది రా.
A6.
హలో వచ్చింది సార్. నేను కాదు సార్. హలో
A6 మాట్లాడండి.
A6 హలో A6 కి ఇవ్వండి సార్.
ఇచ్చాను సార్. అందరూ మాట్లాడుతున్నారు మరి.
సార్ ఆడు అలా మాట్లాడండి సార్. ఆడు కాదు అంటే రోల్ నెంబర్ ఎవరైనా మార్చొచ్చు కదా సార్. లాగిన్ ఐడి
సేమ్ నెంబర్ తో రాదు కదమ్మా. సరే వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ మే బి.
ఆడంతా ధైర్యం చేయడు సార్
అనవసరంగా. ఓకేనా? సరే నేను కంటిన్యూ చేస్తున్నాను.
హలో సార్
చెప్పండి.
తర్వాత చూద్దాంలేమ్మా. ఇంకా లీవ్ ఇట్. తర్వాత చూద్దాంలే. ఓకే లీవ్ ఇట్.
నా పేరున ఎవరో వేరే నెంబర్ పెట్టుకొని
సార్ మ్యూట్ చేసేయండి.
మ్యూట్ చేసేసుకోండి అమ్మా. తర్వాత మాట్లాడండి సార్ తో క్లాస్ అయిపోయాక.
Okay students, in this class we are going to learn basic terminology, some terminology related to before going to the construction, that means before to the classification of relays, we need to know some terminology related to relays. So that one is operating time and restraining torque, pickup level, and reset value or dropout value, and operating time and reset time. So these are the terms we need to know. Before going to the construction of relays. So let's see. So what is operating time? Operating time is nothing but the torque which tends to close the contacts of the relay. So here it is the relay contacts. These are the relay contacts. So these are the relay contacts. So relay contacts. These are the relay contacts. Now, whenever the fault is happen in this section, so that one CT will sense the fault current, and due to that fault current, here the relay coil is operated. When the relay coil is operated, electromagnetic torque is developed, due to that torque, due to that electromagnetic torque, these contacts are going to be closed. These contacts are going to be closed. Now torque the torque which is help to close the contacts, the torque which is help to close the contacts, we call it as operating torque. Operating torque is nothing but the torque which is help to close the contact of uh, these uh, these one. So the contacts of this one, we call it as operating torque. So I repeat once again, operating torque is nothing but this one is the this torque is help to close the contacts of tripping circuit. This circuit we call it as, this entire circuit we call it as tripping circuit. This circuit we call it as tripping circuit, and the torque which is help to close the tripping circuit. We call it as operating torque. Okay, that one is a definition. We need to remember operating torque. What is operating? Something construction, while we are going for types of circuit break, types of, that means relays, classification of relays. Continuously we use a word operating torque. So at that time we have to remember it. Operating torque is nothing but torque which helps the close tripping circuit. Now one more definition, one more term is restraining torque. So one more type of torque, restraining torque. So restraining torque is nothing but the torque which is opposes the operating torque. The torque which is opposes the operating torque, we call it as a restraining torque. That means basically this restraining torque opposes the closing of contacts. The torque which opposes closing of these contacts, we call it as restraining torque. Now, so these two are the main terminology, that means operating torque and restraining torque. We continuously, now onwards, we continuously use these two terms, operating torque and restraining torque, in our relays. Okay. Now, next one term is pickup value. Or preset value. So this is nothing but the threshold value of the activating quantity, above which a relay operates, is operate. So here this relay coil has a preset value. When the current, if it activating quantity is current, when the current value is above the preset value, at that condition only this particular relay coil produced a magnetic field. That means produced magnetic torque is capable to close the contacts. That value we call it as pickup value. Now next one, terminology, that means next term, reset value or a dropout value. Okay. Now dropout value is nothing but the threshold value of the activating quantity below which the relay is de-energized and returns to its normal position or state. So reset value is nothing but that value is below the preset value or threshold value of the activating quantity, below which the relay is at that value. That means that value de-energized and returns to its normal position. That means when the relay coil is at reset value, the circuit, that means the trip contact, the contacts of the trip coil is going to be open. When the contacts are open, the trip coil circuit is de-energized. So this is happen when the current, that means when the activating quantity in this coil is below the reset value, below the reset value or dropout value. Okay, now now um, operating time. Next to terminology, next terminology is operating time. So operating time is nothing but a time period, nothing but it is a time period from the instant at which activating quantity exceeds the relay pickup value to the instant at which the relay closes its contact. So operating time is nothing but operating time is nothing but a time period between the instant at which activating quantity exceeds the relay pickup value to the instant at which the relay closes its contacts. So next one, reset time. It is also a time period. It is also a time period, and that time period is in between the moment of activating quantity. The moment of activating quantity falls below its reset value, falls below to reset value to the instant when the relay comes back to its initial position. So basically, I repeat once again, what is operating time and what is reset time. Operating time is nothing but time period between when the current value, when the activating quantity is above the preset value to when the contacts of trip coil circuit is closed. That time period we call it as operating time. And reset value means when the activating quantity is below the reset value, that means reset value to the time at activating quantity below the reset value to at the instant contacts of the trip coil is open. The total time period is, we call it as reset time. So this one is the basic difference between operating time and reset time. Now we go for, by keeping these terms in mind, we go for the next one. So that one is classification of electromagnetic attraction type relays. Classification of electromagnetic attraction type relays. Already I said in last class, we have two types of electromagnetic attraction type relays. So those are beam type and armature type. Beam type and armature type. So first we go for it, balanced beam relay. So it is a electromagnetic attraction type. It is a electromagnetic attraction type relays. So in that one, we see first we are going to see the first type. So first type, that one is balanced beam. So here we can see, a hinge. It is a hinge and it gives support to the beam. It is a hinge. It one gives support to the beam. And one more thing, here we can see a spring. It is a spring, and this one is a coil. Okay, magnetic coil. So already I told you in relay two type of torques are produced. In any relay two type of torques are produced. First one is restraining torque and second one is operating torque. So restraining torque is it always try to open the circuit, open trip coil circuit. It always try to, that means it helps, this restraining torque is helps to open the contacts of a trip coil circuit. So operating torque, here one more torque, that one is operating torque. Torque is always helps to close the contacts. That means because of operating torque only contacts are going to be closed in trip circuit. Okay. So because of that purpose, to produce two torques in this particular relay, here we are going to two arrangements. So one is we are providing a spring and also we are providing a coil, magnetic coil. So here in this case, the spring is the spring is produced restraining torque. So in this relay, restraining torque is produced because of spring action. Because of spring action. Now, operating torque is produced in this type of relay because of magnetic coil. This one is the magnetic coil, and this magnetic coil gets supply from the current transformer. So this one is a magnetic coil, and this magnetic coil gets supply from the secondary of current transformer. Secondary of current transformers, that what we see in previous diagram, like so here it is. It is a magnetic coil. It is a magnetic coil, and this magnetic coil get a supply from the secondary of CT. Secondary of CT. Okay, this one is the magnetic coil, and this magnetic coil gets supply from the secondary of current transformer. Current transformer. Okay. Now, so when this magnetic coil current, that means when the magnetic coil current is exceeds the preset value, it produce sufficient operating torque. When it get sufficient operating torque, due to the torque, the contacts of this one is closed. So when the contacts of this circuit is closed, this particular source will send a current to the trip coil. When the trip coil is excited, due to the trip coil, circuit breaker contacts are open. So the same thing we can decide. The same thing we can explain here also. The same thing we can explain here also. So these are the trip coil contacts. These two are the trip coil contacts. Our intention is at abnormal condition we are going to close it. At abnormal condition we are going to close these two contacts. These two are trip coil contacts. When these two contacts are closed, ultimately a trip coil is excited. When the trip coil is excited, here it is a trip coil. That one is not shown in the diagram. That one is not shown in the diagram. Okay. So when the trip coil is excited, due to that reason, circuit breaker contacts are open. Okay. Now up to in this diagram, for this diagram, we can say one point. So our intention is we have to close this trip contact. So for that one, here we make arrangements at normal condition. At normal condition, these contacts are at open position. We need to make it like that. And at abnormal condition only, we have to close these contacts. Okay. So that's why here we place two accessories. So one accessories is spring, and another accessories is coil, magnetic coil. So okay. So here spring produce a restraining torque, and operating coil that means magnetic coil is produce operating torque. At normal condition, these two torques, that means torque produced by spring and torque produced by magnetic coil, are equal in, and also both are same direction. Both are in same direction. At normal condition, spring produced torque and magnetic coil produced torque. Both are equal and also in same direction. That's why this beam is balanced. This beam is balanced because of both the torques are equal. So when this beam is balanced, so these two contacts are not closed. These two contacts are not closed. That means trip coil circuit is at open condition. Trip coil circuit is at open condition. So now, so when abnormal conditions is happen, suppose like assume abnormal condition is happen, that means current in magnetic coil, current in this coil is increased because of secondary of current transformer. When this coil is increased, the operating torque of this coil is increased. So the produced torque because of this coil is increased. When the torque increased because of this coil, that torque, that particular torque or force is attract the beam. So when it attracts the beam, so this beam contacts, this beam end contacts are touch the trip contacts. When this beam contact touch the trip contacts, automatically trip coil circuit is closed. When the trip coil circuit is closed, ultimately the other end circuit breaker contacts are also opened. So in this way, in this way, this particular type of relay is operate when the fault is happen in our power system. So I repeat once again. So it is a very simple explanation about balanced beam. So this one is the exact circuit of balanced beam. So when we see a balanced beam diagram, we can see two accessories. So one is a spring and second one is a magnetic coil. So this magnetic coil produce the operating torque, and this spring is produce the restraining torque. At normal case, both the torques are equal. That's why this beam is at balanced condition. When the beam is at balanced mode, these two contacts, that means trip coil contacts, the trip coil contacts are at open, so no current in trip coil. So when fault is happened, due to that fault, secondary of transformer send more current to the magnetic coil. That's why magnetic coil produce high amount of operating torque when that operating torque is dominating the restraining torque. When operating torque is dominating the restraining torque, ultimately the beam is moved downwards. When the beam is moved in downwards, trip coil contacts are closed. When the trip coil contacts are closed, circuit breaker contacts are open. So in this way we can explain about balanced beam type relay. Here is the diagram, same diagram. In exam point of view, we can draw diagram like this. In exam point of view, we can draw like this. Okay, so it is a spring. Spring is responsible restraining torque, and it is a coil, magnetic coil, and it is the responsible for operating torque. At normal case, both the torques are equal. When abnormal, when the fault is happen, magnetic coil produced torque is dominating the spring torque. So due to that reason, this particular beam is moves downwards. When this beam is moved downwards, these two contacts are closed. Okay. So these two contacts are closed. This one is the trip coil circuit contacts. Now I will send a slide to you. Please read it. It is very easy. Next, one more type. That one is balanced beam type. There is some more examples. Some more examples are there for construction point of view. Those are attracted armature type relays. Here also, the first one is, we call it as hinged armature type relay, and second one we call it as polarized moving iron type relay. So operation is same, but the construction is different. Operation is same, no problem. Okay, here also in this diagram also we can see two main accessories. One is spring, and the second one is magnetic coil. So spring. So here in this type of relay, spring produced restraining torque. So already I told you, restraining torque is nothing but it is the torque help to open the contacts. That means it does not allow the contacts to close it. This restraining torque does not allow the contacts to close it. Okay, here operating torque, the operating torque is always try to close the contacts. Okay, so same thing, explain it. At normal case, these contacts are at open condition. So when operating, that means magnetic coil current is increased. When the magnetic coil current is increased, operating torque is dominating the restraining torque. So due to that reason, these contacts are closed. When the contacts are closed, ultimately we can observe current in trip circuit. So when current is happen in trip circuit, ultimately circuit breaker contacts are open. So same explanation here also we can give it, but the construction point of view it is different. Okay. Next, one more type, attracted armature relay. That one is polarized moving iron type relay. It is a moving iron. And these are the contacts. These are the trip coil contacts. At normal case, at normal case, these two contacts are at open condition, and this one is the magnetic coil. This one is the magnetic coil. Due to some spring action, this particular element is away from this contact. So this particular element is away from the contact at normal case because of some spring action. That is nothing but restraining torque. So when the magnetic coil is excited, that means when it reaches the more than required value, more than the preset value. So ultimately, this particular element, that means this particular electromagnet, it act like electromagnetic. When a current is happen in this coil, it act like a electromagnet. So this particular electromagnet attract the moving iron when the fault is happen in a system. So when it attract the moving iron, ultimately these contacts are closed. When these two contacts are closed, we can see current in trip circuit. Okay, so in this way we can explain electromagnetic armature relays. So here it is. So electromagnetic attraction type relays. So here electromagnetic attraction type relays, we have seen 3 examples. First one is balanced beam type relays, and the second one is a hinged armature type relay. Third one is polarized moving iron type relay. So in both in these three different relays, operation is same. In these 3 type of relays, we can see restraining torque and we can see operating torque. At normal case, restraining torque is value is equal to operating torque. When the fault is happen, that operating torque is dominating the restraining torque. Due to that reason, trip coil circuits are closed. Okay, so this is the explanation. But construction point of view, there is a difference. That means how we are going to construct, how we are going to arrange restraining torque, how we are going to get operating torque from the magnetic coil. That one is the different, but operation is same. Okay, don't worry. Now we can see the advantage and some advantages about electromagnetic relays. Like so here we can see these electromagnetic relays are used for AC as well as DC systems. We can use it for AC as well as DC systems, DC power systems, and they have fast operation and fast reset value. And one more thing here in this type of relays, the restraining force is provided by spring. So for restraining purpose, torque purpose, we are going to use a spring. And also it is an instantaneous relay. One more advantage, that means when the fault is happen, immediately the relay is going to be operated. It is instantaneous relay. And operating time is also very high. That means operating time is low and speed is very high. And operating time is very low. And one more very important advantage of this type of relays it is very compact size and robust and reliable. So more reliable, and construction point of view, it is also more robust, and size point of view, it is more compact. And one more, when comparing to remaining type of relays, so it is faster. It is very faster than remaining induction type relays. Nothing but induction disc and cup type relays. Induction disc type and cup type relays. These are very fast comparing with them. And these are one disadvantage. Is there. Some disadvantages are there. Like these are more affected. These are more affected by transients, fault transients. These are more affected by the fault transients. So due to that reason, there is a chance of abnormally it can operate. So that one is the disadvantage of this type of relays. So students, please, I will write some advantages in this slide and disadvantages, and also some applications about this type of relays. I will send PPT. Please read it. You can understand better while reading. So next one is induction type relays. Induction type relays. Induction type relays means magnetic induction. So previous one is attracted. Previous one is the attracted armature type. Here it is magnetic induction type, electromagnetic induction type relays. Induction type relays, electromagnetic induction type relays. So here also we can see different type of relays. We can see it in this mode. Those are induction disk type, induction cup type, induction disk type and cup type. We see it one by one. We will see it one by one. That means how these type of these type of relays are going to be operate. How these type of relays are going to be operate when the fault is happening in system. Let's see it. It is some induction disk type relay. Induction disk type relay. It is a disk, induction disk, and let's see how the torque is developed. How the torque is going to develop in particular disk. So this one is the disk. That green color element is nothing but a disk. That one we can see it clearly. This one is the disk. This one is the disk. So when the fault is happen, ultimately because of relay coil, this particular on this particular disk we can see a torque. So here on this torque also we can see two type of torques. One torque is that means at a time two torques are going to be happen on this, but those two torques are in opposite. Okay, let we see it. So why the torque is occurred on a disk, and because of this construction, why the torque is occurring on disk. We see it one by one. First of all we see the operation. Here. This one is the construction of induction magnetic induction type relays. Construction of magnetic induction type relay. So here we can see two coils. We can see clearly two coils for this construction. So it is coil 1. Am I right? It is coil 1 and it is coil 2. It is coil 1. It is coil 1 and it is coil 2. Okay. So coil 1 input is here. The coil 1 input is that means it get input from the secondary of CT. This particular coil get supply from the secondary of current transformer. Secondary of current transformer. But what about coil 2? So here the coil 2 gets supplied because of transformer action. Coil 2 gets supply from the coil 1. So already we know that in transformer also we have two windings. So one winding we call it as primary winding, and another winding we call it as secondary winding. Okay, so secondary winding gets supply from the primary because of induction, nothing but transformer action. Here also same thing is happen. So this particular coil gets, here it is. This one is the second coil. So this particular second coil gets supply from primary. This one is the primary. This one is primary, nothing but first winding. This one is the first winding. Okay. So this secondary winding gets supply from primary winding because of transformer action. Okay. primary gets supply from secondary of CD. Primary gets, that means this particular winding gets supply from secondary of CD. Now what will happen? That means here we can see two currents here in this total construction. In this total construction, we can see two currents. One current is because of first winding. A second current is because of second winding. So this current is I2 is because of transformer action. I2 is because of transformer action, and I1 is because of secondary current, secondary winding of current transformer. Okay, so that means in this total structure we can see two currents. One is I1 and another one is I2. Okay, so two currents. These two currents also produced magnetic flux. So I1 produced magnetic flux, and at the same time I2 current is also produced magnetic flux. So in this air gap, this one is the air gap of the structure, In this air gap, we can see two fluxes. One is because of I1 and another one is because of I2, and these two are that means the produced fluxes because of I1 and I2 have phase difference. The produced fluxes have phase difference, because already we know that in transformer I2 is not in phase with I1. Am I right? Yes, correct. I2 is not in phase with I1. So there is a phase difference. There is a phase difference between I1 and I2 in transformer. In the same way, here also I1 is and I2 are in with I1 and I2 are happen with some phase difference. Ultimately, the produced fluxes also have phase difference. So two fluxes in the air gap. In air gap, we can see two fluxes with phase difference. So when the two fluxes are available in air gap with phase difference, ultimately because of the two fluxes interaction, those two fluxes interaction, torque is developed on the disc. The torque is developed on the disc. It is a free movable disc, and so when the torque is happen, due to that torque, the disc is going to be rotate. So this is the basic thing I need to explain about this diagram. I'm going to explain. This is the basic thing I'm going to explain. I'm going to try to explain the concept related to this diagram. So now let's see. So okay, how much of torque is going to be developed on this because of these two fluxes. So okay, I understand. We understand like. Okay, pi 1 is developed and pi 2 is developed, and pi 1 is because of I1 current and pi 2 is developed because of I2 current. Okay, two fluxes are available in air gap, and because of those two fluxes interaction, torque is generated on surface of disc. Okay, so how much of torque is generated? How much of torque is going to produce on the surface of disc? Let we see the derivation, torque derivation of electromagnetic induction relays. We see it. So I hope you can understand. So let's see. This one is the derivation. Torque equation for induction type relays. It is very, very important. For exam point of view, it is very, very important. Don't take it light. Okay. So already I told you, because of construction, we are creating two fluxes. So because of I1, we get pi 1 is equal pi 1 flux, and because of I2, here I2 is get because of transformer action, and produced that means I2 which is produced because of transformer action produce pi 2 value, pi 2. So this one is primary flux, that means primary winding flux, and this one is secondary winding flux. Both are available in air gap. So now the instantaneous value of pi 1 is pi 1 m sine omega t, and pi 2 instantaneous value is equal to pi 2 m sine omega t plus alpha. Here plus alpha is indicates pi 2 is lead, pi 1. So for simplicity, for easy understanding, for better understanding, here write it plus alpha. Plus alpha is the meaning is, the plus alpha is meaning is pi 2 is lead pi 1. Pi 2 phasor is lead pi 1 phasor. Okay. Now, and one more thing, that I1 and I2 values are alternating currents. Keep it in mind. So that's why here we write it. Here we write it this one. Okay. Instantaneous values. We write it like this because I1 and I2 are alternative currents. Because of alternative currents only we can get induction action. Okay. Alternative currents are only have induction action. Okay. Now next thing, okay, these are two fluxes, and now these two fluxes have same frequency. We know that in transformer primary frequency is equal to secondary frequency. Am I right? Yes, in transformer secondary frequency and primary frequency are same. Okay, so we are going no more discussion about that. So but they have a phase difference, and frequency is same, both the frequency is same, but they have a phase difference. That phase difference is alpha. And here in given condition, here the taken condition is pi 2 leads pi 1. So pi 2 leads pi 1 with the angle of alpha. Now, so pi 1 and pi 2 are alternating fluxes. So pi 1 and pi 2 are alternating fluxes, and those two fluxes are linked with surface of disk. Am I right? So pi 1 and pi 2 are alternative fluxes, and those two fluxes are also linked with the surface of disk. Alternative fluxes are linked with surface of disk. So that's why because of alternating action, because of the rate of change of flux, because of the flux which link with disk, is going to change continuously because it is a alternating flux. So that's why in that disk EMF is induced according to Faraday's. The EMF because of pi 1, the EMF because of pi 1 is directly proportional to d pi 1 by dt. And in the same way, secondary flux also, secondary winding flux also linked with disk, and that flux is continuously changed with respect to time. Because of that one, according to Faraday's, again one more EMF is induced in disk, and that E2 value is directly proportional to d pi by dt. Okay, here in disk we can see at a time two EMFs. One is E1 and another one is E2. E1 is because of pi 1, and E2 is because of pi 2. Now, so disk is a closed. That means the disk is nothing but it is a closed metal. That means it form a closed circuit. Nothing but it allows the eddy currents. It allows the eddy currents. So already disk have EMFs. That means E1 and E2. So because of this E1 and E2, we can see that eddy currents are circulating currents. And already we know that current is directly proportional to voltage. Am I right? So current is directly proportional to voltage. That's why here we can write some current we can observe in disk. That one is I1. That I1 is because of E1. So that I1 is directly proportional to E1 value, and E1 is directly proportional to d pi by dt. In the same way we can see. I2 also. We can see one more current. That one is I2. I2 is because of E2, and that E2 is because of d pi 2 by dt. That means rate of change of flux. So where I1 and I2 are eddy currents, already eddy currents are circulating currents. This one is because of disk structure. So I1 and I2 are because of disk structure. And now we have substitute pi 1 value and pi 2 value in above equation. Already we know that we know the instantaneous value of pi 1 and we know the instantaneous value of pi 2. Then సార్ హలో.
టైం అయిపోయింది. ఒకసారి వాళ్ళ మిస్బిహేవియర్ గురించి అందరికి చెప్పండి. ఇప్పుడు ఆ పిల్లడు కాకపోవచ్చు, బట్ క్లాసులో ఎవరైనా బయట వాళ్ళకి లింక్ ఇస్తేనే కదా ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చేది.
అలా అని కాదు కదా, రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ వాళ్ళే తీసుకుంటారు. ఆ నెంబర్, ఆ పర్టికులర్ నెంబరు
ప్లస్ మళ్ళీ
ఆ నెంబరు ఎవరు యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారో మీకు తెలియదమ్మా. మీ నెంబర్ వేరే వాళ్ళు యూజ్ చేసుకుంటే మీరు అలా ఉండిపోతారా ఏంటి? అలా కాదు కదా. మీ నెంబర్ ని వేరే వాళ్ళు మిస్యూజ్ చేసుకోవడానికి ట్రై చేస్తున్నారండి. ఆ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ ఎవరు తీసుకుంటారు అప్పుడు? మీకు తెలియదు, ఆ మాత్రం సెన్స్ ఉండదా?
మళ్ళీ ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ ఉంటది కదా సార్, అది డౌన్లోడ్ చేయండి. ఆ ఎక్సెల్
అల్టిమేట్
షీట్
గా ఎఫెక్ట్ అయ్యేది మీరే. మీ నెంబర్, మీ రిజిస్టర్ నెంబర్ వేరే వాళ్ళు యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారంటే మీరు దాన్ని అలౌ చేస్తున్నట్టే, ఎంకరేజ్ చేస్తున్నట్టే. ఆ విషయం గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి.
క్లాస్ టీచర్ కి కంప్లైంట్ ఇవ్వాలి.
మీ రిజిస్టర్ నెంబర్ ని వేరే వాళ్ళు యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారంటే మీరు దాన్ని ఎంకరేజ్ చేస్తున్నట్టు. మీరు ఎంకరేజ్ చేస్తున్నట్టే. మీ నెంబర్ తో వేరే వాళ్ళు ఏదైనా చేస్తున్నట్టే మీరు ఎంకరేజ్ చేస్తున్నట్టే కదమ్మా. మీకు ఆ మాత్రం కాన్షియస్ గా లేకపోతే ఎలాగా? అల్టిమేట్ గా ఎఫెక్ట్ అయ్యేది మీరే అవుతారు. ఎఫెక్ట్ అనేది
అయ్యప్ సార్, ఆ పీడిఎఫ్ ఉంటది కదా, వాళ్ళు డౌన్లోడ్ చేయండి ఎక్సెల్ షీట్. ఆ ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేస్తే ఎవరెవరు ఆ నెంబర్ ఎన్ని నిమిషాలు, ఎంత సెకండ్, ఏ టైం ఎంటర్ అయింది.
మీ ఇష్టం. మీరు ఆల్రెడీ ఫైనల్ ఇయర్కి వచ్చారు. ఫైనల్ ఇయర్కి వచ్చి మీరు ఒక పర్టికులర్ క్లాస్ లో ఎలా ఉండాలో మీకు తెలియకపోతే అల్టిమేట్ గా రేపు వెళ్ళి ఏం చేస్తారండి? ఈ బిహేవియర్ ఉంటే మీరు రేపు ఎలా గెటిన్ అవుతారు? ఎక్కడైనా ఇలాంటి బిహేవియర్ ఉంటే అసలు మిమ్మల్ని ఎక్కడైనా ఎలా చేస్తారా? మేము కాదు అంటే మీ పేరు యూజ్ చేసుకుని మిస్యూజ్ చేసుకున్నట్టు దాన్ని మీరు ఎలా చేస్తున్నారంటే ఎక్కడైనా మీరే కదా సఫర్ అయ్యేది. మీరు సఫర్ అవుతున్నారు. ఓకే, ఇంతకంటే ఏం చెప్పలేమండి ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, సరే అయితేనమ్మా, నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ లో కంటిన్యూ చేస్తాను. డెరివేషన్, టార్క్ ఈక్వేషన్ కంటిన్యూ చేయి. ఇలా ఉండొద్దు.
అయ్యప్ సార్
సార్ చెప్పండి.
ఆ ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసి అది పెట్టండి. ఆ మినిట్స్ ఎవరెవరు వచ్చారు ఏంటి అది వంశీకి ఇస్తే వాళ్ళు డిసిప్లిన్ కమిటీలో పెడతారు. ఆ నెంబర్ ఎవరు ఎంటర్ అయ్యారు, ఎన్నిసార్లు ఎంటర్ అయ్యారో వస్తుంది. ఎంటర్ అయ్యి ఎప్పుడు లాగౌట్ అయ్యాడో వస్తుంది. B4 అనే నెంబర్. ఈ అబ్బాయి క్లాస్ లాగిన్ టైము, లాగౌట్ టైం ఎంతసేపు ఉన్నాడో వస్తుంది.
అవును సార్, అవును.
క్లాస్ మొత్తం రెస్పాన్సిబుల్, ప్లస్ ఆ అబ్బాయి కూడా
రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ అవుతాడు సార్. ఆ పర్టికులర్ పర్సన్ రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ అవుతాడు. ఎందుకంటే ఆ నెంబర్ వేరే వాడు యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాడు ఏంటి, ఎంత అలర్ట్ గా ఉన్నట్టు అర్థం అవుతుంది.
క్లాస్ టీచర్ కంప్లైంట్ ఇవ్వాలి మరి. సరే
ఓకేనమ్మా, మీరు లాగౌట్ అయిపోండి. నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ లో మళ్ళీ మీట్ అవుదామా. నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ లో టార్క్ ఈక్వేషన్ కంటిన్యూ చేస్తాను. చేంజ్ అవ్వండి ఎప్పటికన్నా. ఫైనల్ ఇయర్కి వచ్చి కూడా చేంజ్ కాకపోతే ఇంకెలా ఉంటే అలాగా. ఓకేనమ్మా, ఓకే.